This episode of Super Legit brought to you by inside jokes about comedy theaters, Big Mattress, and carefully marked spoilers for shows that ended 16 years ago. Welcome to another episode of the Super Legit podcast. I am Jarrett Lennon Kaufman, the best host this show has ever had, and I am welcoming my wonderful crew of very happy, very kind, very thoughtful, very friendly, very complimentary players, friends, family.
We prefer the term players. We don't want you to get too too cozy.
Yeah.
I like troop.
Yeah, no, I was feeling it.
Acquaintances.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
That's how I refer to all my friend groups as troops.
My mama raised me to be a player.
I think the word you're looking for is playa.
Yes. My mom is not a beach. She's cool.
Are in Southern California. Lots of playas around here.
She's a tributary.
That's the name of Lana Del Rey's mom.
Let's get this started with let's start with Stephen C. James.
Oh,
Stephen
hey.
C. James.
How's
Yes.
it going, Jet?
I am good. How are you?
I'm good. In pandemic adjusted terms, as we were talking about before.
Yeah.
I'm doing well. Yeah.
Relatively speaking.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that wasn't your question. Here's your real question.
Ooh.
What was the first moment that made you finally realize or accept that you were an adult?
Oh, I'm a middle school teacher by day, so I don't know if I've ever actually fully accepted the fact that I'm an adult because I'm always spending time around people in their teenage years. But there are many times, like my wife uses that phrase "adulting," and it bugs me because I have this dual thing where I got the job that I still have right now at 22 years old. I was right out of college,
Wow.
23 years old. And I've had the same job since I was 23. And so I've been in charge of people and running a classroom and being a teacher since I was 23 years old.
Holy
so
cow.
even though I've never actually matured, I've always had to be the adult in the room. There's always at some point during my workday where somebody turns to me and is basically like, well, what the fuck do we do now? And I have to know or pretend to know. So I've been a faux adult since I was 23. And on the inside, for the first 4 years at that job, I didn't have health care because I was like, paperwork. I don't want to do this. I'm not actually matured. Yeah. And then somebody was like, if you get sick, and it's like, well, if you get sick, you wait, you get better. No, if you want to go to the doctor, and I'm like, doctor? Had no idea. Just had no idea.
Yep.
So if it involves paperwork, then I'm not an adult. If it involves bossing people around, Captain Grown Up, right here.
That's crazy to hear that you were a teacher at 23. If I still had the same job now that when I was 23, I would be a senior projectionist at ArcLight Cinema.
But here's the thing.
Which I know is a great gig.
You would probably be opening.
Not now.
Well, not now.
Yeah.
You would probably
Oh,
be,
yeah, we got that pandemic thing. Yeah.
Yeah. You would probably be the person who is the manager at the ArcLight Theater in Honolulu, Hawaii, or something like that. Or
I tried to
in
get that
Dubai
job.
or something.
I tried to get it.
Actually, as somebody else who was a projectionist at 23, if I had the same job, if I had the same job I had when I was 23, then I would have been laid off 20 years ago.
Yep. It's all digital now.
I would have been replaced by a tiny laptop decades ago.
Oh man, knowing this group, is this where we find out that everyone was a projectionist at 23?
At
Were
the
you a
same
projectionist at 23
theater.
too, Chris?
No, if I had the same job that I had at 23, I would have hit 20 years in the Army a few months ago.
Oh wow!
I would be able to retire right now.
Wow.
I actually still work at the same place that I worked at when I was 22, in a weird way.
Job security. Right? God bless it.
One thing you guys should know is Michael is only 24, so it's not that impressive that
There
he's
we
had
go.
the same job since 22.
Yep.
Dude, I remember when I was a kid, I was working at a resort, and this dude said to me, he's like, if I'd stayed in the Army since I was 18, I'd be retiring. And I was like, oh my God, dude, this guy is so old. He's 38.
Yeah.
And now 38 sounds like, wow, my knees would still work. That's the dream, man.
Those whippersnappers.
I'd love to be retired.
Yeah, Chris Sanders, given this whole retirement conversation and so on, and especially the history you had that you were just going into, what for you was that moment where you felt like an adult? Like that, did that have anything to do with your military experience, or was it completely separate?
Oh God, I still have never felt like an adult.
Yeah.
Ever.
I almost allowed for that in the question. Is like, no, I'm going to let people say that themselves because it's an interesting review.
I still have moments some days, relatively frequently, that I just in the middle of a day have a moment that I'm like, how are people just buying this facade? Like, everyone's just okay with it. I'm a fucking child. Like, I play video games like it's my goddamn job. And it isn't. It doesn't make me money. And I frequently, I just have a trash mouth. I still talk like I'm 20 years younger. My body doesn't. My body certainly acts its age. But my brain has not caught up. And everyone just seems to be okay with it. Because I think, for the most part, nobody fucking knows what they're doing, and everybody realizes it, and everybody is like stoned for the first time and worried that everyone knows they're stoned.
Yeah. See that informs, like, I feel like my wake up moment, because I'm with you. Most of the time, I feel like I am posing as an adult, but that moment of maturity, that moment of wake up, that gave me the hint that I was an adult, was that moment where I suddenly realized everybody was faking it. Mm-hmm. Everybody who I grew up looking at as adults and going, they know everything. They know what they're doing. They've got their shit together. None of them had their shit together. None of them knew what they were doing. They may have been successfully stumbling through things. They may have stumbled into something that looked like they had everything together, but consistently they didn't know what the hell they were doing, and they were making it up as they went along.
That is the light bulb moment. Like when you realize the emperor has no clothes, you're like, we're all naked. And we're all just, dude, it's eye-opening because nobody knows anything.
I think it's also a half glass full, half glass empty moment for you too, which is, do you take that as the example of, oh, good, I'm with everybody else, I'm one of you, this is great, or you take that as, holy shit, we're all screwed?
This is the transition to adulthood. Is one time I went to see a movie at Hollywood and Highland, and it was in Theater 7. Buy a ticket. Have you ever been to Hollywood and Highland because you don't live in Los Angeles? Big theater a big mall right next to Man's Chinese Theater. So where do we go? We can't find the theater. Point us down this escalator. Just keep walking. Okay, keep walking. They usher us out the door, and we're standing on the sidewalk. And that's how it feels to transition to adulthood.
Oi. Super. All right, listen, son. I get it. Okay, you're 35 years old. I'm not too much older than you. I'm 38. But even though you're always going to be Pac-Man Jr., you have a job to do, okay? Those pellets are going to eat themselves, kid.
Come on, Dad! Come on! All right? You don't have to boss me around, okay? Like,
I'm not...
I don't want to chomp ghosts like you, all right? What if the power isn't in the pellet? What if it's inside me? What if the power's inside me, Dad?
Listen, let's just the power is in all of us, okay? But there's a holy trinity that we all need to respect, okay? It's Pac-Man, Mrs. Pac-Man, Pac-Man Jr., okay?
Oh, you're gonna bring Mom into this, Dad? Really? For real, Dad? Listen, all right? Okay. I'm well aware that I might not even be your son, okay? Think about that, Dad.
Don't even bring my name into this. And if you are going to bring my name into this, bring it in properly. I am not Mrs. Pac-Man. I am Miss Pac-Man because you do not own me.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
I am with you because I choose to be with you, not because I have to be.
Have you ever noticed, Dad, that Pac-Man Jr. is a video game, is a combination of Pac-Man and pinball. I get Pac-Man from my mom, Ms. Pac-Man. Thank you for not being a gender
Thank
traitor.
you, son. Thank you.
And I'm pretty sure, Dad, in air quotes, that I get my pinballness from
You
that
have my last
Cyclone
name.
machine over there.
You have my last
the
name.
Cyclone roller coaster pinball game
Okay.
is my real dad.
Look, Miss Pac-Man Trollop doesn't know if it's a Williams machine, a Rally machine, a Blinko machine for that matter. You have my last name.
Oh, dare you!
All right.
How in front of our
Your
son?
last name. I have my mother's last name. My mother's last name, Ms. Pac-Man. Okay? Right? Ms. Pac-Man. Just because a Smith marries a Smith doesn't mean that one of them has to go with their name. All right? There's a difference. Your last name is Pac-Man. Her last name is Pac-Man. Duh. Think of the difference. You're being very culturally insensitive. Quote, unquote, Dad. Huh?
He gets his intellect from my side of the family.
Yeah. Why don't you try using one of those 25-cent words?
What does he get from your side of the family?
Okay, well, Pac-Man's an old game, okay? And some would say it's antiquated, and if that happens to be my point of view, then that's what that's going to be.
Oh, we just have to accept your old look. This is the way I see the world.
If it was up to you, Miss Pac-Man, we wouldn't even have a Pac-Man Jr. I made sure you carried that Pac-Man from that little pellet to a Powerball for 9 months.
How dare you bring that up in front of him?
Yeah. Instead of the
Baby,
regular 9
no,
quarters,
baby,
it was
baby,
12 quarters to birth that boy.
Baby, I was at a very pivotal time in my life, and I didn't know what
Am I just a token to the two of you? Is that it? Huh?
No.
You would have been to her. You would have been a pretzel or a strawberry or an orange or just another thing she swallowed. But I said, no, hang on, wait 12 quarters. Antiquated point of view.
Again, how dare you speak for me? No, baby, no. You know, at the time, I didn't realize what a blessing you would be. What a blessing you are. You make my life complete. You are the wind beneath my bow, honey. You are what makes everything worth it. I don't chase glowing ghosts for me. I chase them for us, baby.
Listen,
for us.
No, I have enough of this. All right,
Like,
I didn't ask to be programmed. It's bad enough
didn't.
I'm the least memorable member of this family.
That's
you know
not
what
true.
I'm gonna do? I'm gonna run right over there.
No.
And I'm gonna run into that ghost. It doesn't
No.
matter that it's
No.
not blue.
No.
I'm
No,
gonna
not
run
Inky,
into that
not Inky or Blinky.
You know, suicide comes from your side of the family.
Legit. Now, before we get angry emails and tweets from our many, many listeners, I did want to clear the record.
Hi, Ray. How's it going?
That the pinball version was Baby Pac-Man.
Oh.
And Junior Pac-Man was apparently an unauthorized version of the game made by Bally Midway without Namco's permission. That led to them terminating their license agreement with Namco.
Well,
So
interesting.
It's just me preventing us from getting the hate
sounds
mail.
like Stephen CJ's initiation of
I think that was implied in my performance.
Junior Pac-Man. Mm-hmm.
Thank you for the deep cut notes.
That's
Appreciate
all
that.
subtext. It's all in there. And
I know.
also for the listener, Jet did not Google that. He did all that with his eyes closed.
Well,
It was just off the dome.
Stephen, he did it because the jokes are much better when you explain them in depth from Googling them afterwards.
You know what comedy needs? More facts. Am I right? Am I right, everybody?
No, just more fact
I have
checking.
actually played Baby Pac-Man.
Jet, next time, if you want to jump cut in there and be like a litigation lawyer,
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
the whole paternity.
I like pop-up video game with Jet. I would watch.
Hey, Jet, try acting.
Speaking of jobs that you had at 22.
Oh, there we go.
Oh.
There we go.
Damn.
Wow. That's a different kind of deep cut.
Yeah. Yeah, no, and that's actually funny because if we go back to 23, that's exactly when my last paid gig was.
What was Clark Gable like on the set of Gone with the Wind?
Yeah, I feel like what did we right before this about?
Yeah, your last
not
show
being
was
circumcised, because if you weren't before, Josh just circumcised you.
I think you're getting circumcision and castration mixed up, Chris.
Oh, I am.
I'm great at both. Great at both.
Oh, I've been doing it wrong.
I used to be a butcher.
In the Jewish
Fishmonger.
tradition, we wait until the son gets married for the castration to happen.
Is that what the broken glass is for?
That felt a little misogynistic, maybe. Just a little bit. I don't know.
Which
I don't
is
know.
Orthodox Jew to a T.
Anti-Semitic, misogynistic. I just don't know.
A little from column B.
Considering Orthodox
Why not
Judaism,
both?
misogyny goes hand in hand. So,
Are you allowed to hold hands?
when the man says so.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Oh, well, since you're talking, Michael Heiman, how about you? What was that moment for you when you first felt like an adult? And like, you don't have to continually feel like an adult, but like that glimmer, that moment that was like, oh, could I be an adult now?
I had a big one pretty recently in the last few months.
Nobody say anything.
Sometime last year, I started watching 60 Minutes. And I remember as a kid, my dad would watch 60 Minutes. And
but you now watch the live broadcast with commercials and everything.
I don't watch anything live. But it's on Hulu.
Yeah.
Oh, it is?
So, yeah.
Oh, because the drama at every commercial break of the tick, 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 and it's the actual time that it is.
He's not paying for the full price Hulu, so he still gets the ads, and you can't skip them either.
Even if you pay with for no ads, you still have to watch some ads sometimes. It's annoying.
Yeah,
it is
terrible
poor marketing. But I remember as a kid.
That sounds like somebody who listens to 60 Minutes.
Yeah.
Does it grind your gears, Mike?
No, not at all.
Does it frost your preserves?
It gives me the red ass, is what it does.
I thought that was Leslie Stahl that gave you the red ass. No,
I thought it was Taco Del Venado that gave you the red ass.
That too. Let's keep it going. I'll never finish my story.
Oh, there's more to the story. All right.
No,
just ahead.
like I remember watching my dad. My dad watches 60 Minutes regularly. When I was a kid, he still does. He loves it. And I remember as a kid being like, "This is boring." And then 6 months ago, I'm watching it. I'm like, "This is really good journalism."
Yeah.
So that's my biggest. Holy shit! I'm an adult. While also still working at the same place that I started working at when I was 14.
You're an adult watching 60 Minutes. You're old when you start writing in to complain to 60 Minutes. That's when you know you're old.
I did notice they don't have Andy Rooney anymore.
Oddly enough, they don't.
But like how old I am is every 60 Minutes anchor I can think of is already dead. So that's where my age level sits.
And some of them are still on the show.
Yeah. You're not going to cancel the contract. We paid for this guy.
I actually enjoy Sunday Morning. I don't know if you are familiar with this show. It's like 60 Minutes. If 60 Minutes was too much for you, you're like, you know what? I need a little slower pace. I need something to kind of like bring it to me naturally and easily. It's like Dukalex for our Miralax. I don't know what that thing is called.
Super. Welcome to 20 hours, the approximate amount of time left in the life of each of our correspondents. Here, we take the news from a different perspective, one of wisdom, not age, but wisdom. Tonight's top story.
You see a countdown clock timer going down as he's
Tonight's top story, clouds. Why aren't they as fluffy as they used to be? I remember back when a couple of clouds could take up the whole sky. Now we've got these namby-pamby mini clouds that barely can even block the sun.
Fast forward 8 hours later.
I remember when the clouds used to look like boobies.
Yes.
You could look up in the sky and see boobies. It was just about the only way you could see boobies unless you had a wife.
Wallace, we aren't quite ready for sports yet, but thanks for jumping in.
All right.
We'll come back to you during the sports report. Right now, we're going to go to international news. International news with Dwight. Dwight, what do you have on the international front? Anything new?
You know the Orientals are at it again.
Oh, Dwight, are they?
Grandpa
Are they,
Dwight, I told you. Dude, people are Asian. The rug is Oriental, the lamp is Oriental, but people are Asian.
I'm so sorry. I've been learning. I'm getting better. Every day. Get better every day. That's what I say.
Oh,
okay,
thanks,
sorry.
Dwight.
I'll try this again. The Japs are at it again.
Grandpa Dwight, no!
Dwight,
It's getting worse.
I learned this from the problems I was having with my Eye neighbor. The wops and the other folks, they don't like it when you use those kinds of terms.
I remember when we used to be able to say those things.
Oh,
Would you mind if I went through a list of things we used to be able to say?
oh, I would, but we got to cut back over to Wallace with sports. Wallace, go ahead and continue on with sports. We'll get back to that list later, Dwight.
Back in my day, when Abbott's Field was called the new polo field because
Whoa,
the old polo
Whoa,
field still
Ron, I'm the sportscaster
Jonathan,
here.
we're not quite there yet, Jonathan.
Where am
We'll
I?
get to you.
Where am I?
in a minute.
Just
But
like a Jew to
hot
jump in
train
line
segment is at the
and try
end,
to take
Jonathan.
over the show. You're such a...
Where's my dead wife, Martha?
I want to talk about milk. When I was a kid, we drank whole milk, and we liked whole milk.
Matthias,
It was
Matthias, Matthias,
what?
you're not even
what?
supposed to be on the show this week, Matthias.
Well,
I know, but
I'd
sometimes-
like to hear about milk. I enjoyed milk.
Dwight, hold on now.
Milk
now,
comes
concern
from
it, y'all.
boobies.
I found a bottle of milk in the back of the break room fridge, and it has a layer of cream on top, just like I used to have when the milkman would drop it off at the house. Who wants to share this milk and cream with
Harvey?
me?
Harvey,
And-
Harvey,
yeah.
you put that milk back, Harvey. I gotta have that to take with my medicine. My medicine doesn't work unless I've got lactose with it. My medicine doesn't work. All right, Harvey.
The countdown clock from 20 hours is now in seconds. 10, 9.
Now, Harvey,
Hey.
I swear, if you don't put that there, my
Boobies!
I want the cream!
Put on the desk. Oh no, I don't want to
Lactose intolerant.
one show.
This probably never would have happened if we had some more Orientals on the team. They live longer, you know.
Legit.
Legit. Woo! Oh, wow, I can't believe you said all that stuff about Orientals, Chris Compton. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, that was not Chris Compton. That was not Chris
See,
Compton.
I have not had the same job for 20 years. So I don't say that shit on the internet.
Amazingly, despite scenes like that, we have sponsors this week. Who's got
every week, baby.
our first ad? Well, I know, but we managed to hold on to them too. Who's got our first ad this week?
Chris Sanders, you got that first ad?
I guess I do.
Great.
I love that he seems excited about it.
Well, it's not just my ad. There's
No, but you brought it to us. I mean, you're the one who tracked down the
I
spot.
discovered it.
content
I mean, I'm
person.
not
Yeah,
in it.
yeah,
Right.
okay.
Let me just
And just for further background on why there's some awkward tension, I think a couple episodes ago, I had actually bought into one of our sponsors. It was Forever Van Halen, which ended up being a huge Ponzi scheme. And I took a bath on it. A couple of our other team members also took a bath on it. So we had a production meeting, and now everybody is in charge of acquiring sponsors, not just me. So
Yeah, and we're still not vetting because again, that is our policy.
No
if
vets.
The check clears.
If I can't have a Corvette, nobody can.
But of course, we have to understand with that one, since you were personally invested in it, there was no check, and that was so the only vetting process we had was not involved in it.
Again,
we sent a lot of checks to you.
Forever Van Halen may open up at the old Acme Comedy theater spot in Lancashire, so just keep an eye out, see what happens.
All right, we'll see.
Cool. Looking forward to not knowing whether or not it was ever actually open. I got the tape ready.
All right.
This
game sucks.
What up, Dan Kane?
Take two.
That's my fault.
Yeah. Chris, can you adjust the balance on that? Because it's coming out of the left. Both tracks are coming out of the left side speaker. Can you just go ahead and split the balance on that so it's coming right through the center channel?
Okay, so you don't want the wall of sound thing.
No.
You want split. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's recorded in stereo, so it should come out of both speakers.
Okay, sorry. Got it.
This game sucks.
Yeah, I want to play something real.
For real. My dad told me yard games used to mean something.
Your dad is right.
Ah! What's going on?
Are you bored out of your mind?
Yeah.
Do your yard games not give you enough action?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you unsure of how much your father loves you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so.
Then it's time for Horseshoes and Hand Grenades from Boys Toys.
Horseshoe.
Grenade?
From Boys Toys, the people who brought you Everybody's Doing It, comes Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.
I don't want to play.
Oh, you know not wanting to only counts in Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.
That's not the same.
Grab a grenade.
Okay.
And pull the pin.
Wait, where are the horseshoes?
Horses don't wear shoes. Bye. Horseshoes and Hand Grenades from Boys Toys.
This game is not a toy. In fact, it is not a game at all. It is literally a box of surplus hand grenades found in a storage locker of a dead prepper with no next of kin. Purchasing this product transfers all liability related to the product solely to the new owner of said product. Any injury, maiming, or death resulting from the use of this product is the responsibility of the current owner of the product. Horseshoes sold separately.
So I think I got a sample of this delivered to my home.
I did too.
I mean, there was a FedEx truck out front with just the sides blown off, and I no sign of the driver. I think that's what it was, but honestly, I'm not sure at this point. I live in a pretty bad neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. I will say I very much appreciated the great deal because we got that email. I just followed the links. I got a great deal on horseshoes. I got like 18 for $1. Like they sell them separately, but at really reduced prices.
Yeah, I think I got the hand grenade, but I was near a horse, so I wound up with the horseshoes.
Messy. Yeah, messy.
More than anything, this just seems like a great investment opportunity. Like I'm wondering, are they on NASDAQ or are they on the big board? Because this is something I would like to be involved in.
I'll look them up on Robinhood.
Yeah.
I think this is a cash horse.
I think this might be a ground floor situation for you too, Shawn Michael. Yeah.
Yes, get in now while they're there.
No, yeah, Boys Toys is a highly reputable organization that I don't know if they're trading publicly yet, but they have a plethora of products specifically for boys.
Yeah,
I tried Googling them, and I think I got a different company.
Oh.
Yeah, be careful about Googling Boys Toys.
Yeah, it also depends on what website you're currently perusing background information on. You might get some weird scenes. So,
yeah.
Maybe turn on safe search.
Unless that's the scene that you're looking for. Just saying.
Yeah. No judgment. Weird was probably a bad choice.
Not going to yuck anybody's yum.
Never pass any judgment.
Unless you're Pete Townsend, then
that's my favorite corporate colloquialism is don't yuck my yum.
Mm-hmm.
And the way it is often delivered from the HR rep in the middle of the sensitivity training or whatever is going on is just it's just chef's kiss. It's just the
I'm actually really happy Sanders brought that up. We had a HR meeting where I work, and he actually said that we were talking about like language you're allowed to use at work, and he was like, "I know you guys are a boisterous crowd, and not to yuck anybody's yum, but you can't use the word fuck."
Yeah, I don't like that phrase. Literally using the phrase "don't yuck my yum," it yucks my yum. Just that phrase itself.
Yeah.
Okay,
is it moist?
Well, it gives you that feeling of what it's like to work for a baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. It's like a visceral reaction. Like what you consider yummy may be yucky to me, and that's just the way it is. And I'm not gonna. And my tastes have nothing to do with your taste, and they don't influence yours, and I'm not judging yours. But like you have a visceral reaction. So if somebody says, "Hey, you down for some toothpaste and orange juice?" Yuck! Immediately. And not that you shouldn't be into it, but it's just not my jam.
Yeah,
But you know what? That's not fair because you're yumming my yuck.
Super.
Okay, King Baby, we got a lot of decisions to make today. Okay, so I know you don't like doing any work at all, as you are a king and a baby, but let's try to get through this as much as you can. Yes. So the peasants on the north end. I made a
boom boom.
You did, and it's a big boom boom because you're a king baby. The peasants on the north side of the island, they need they don't have any supplies. They need food. Can
that's sad. They need food. They need milk. Give them milk.
Okay, so we're gonna say yum to this, yes?
Yum!
Yum. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I'm gonna go handle that now. Thank you so much.
Is there more? Tell me more.
Okay.
I help. I like making decisions. I'm big king.
Okay, great. So we also were thinking about expanding your territory to conquer the other 7 isles around you. This means we may have to go to war, or like fight other king babies. Is that something that you're interested in doing? Is that a yuck or a yum?
Yuck. I like other king babies as long as I'm bigger than them.
Oh, okay.
Am I bigger than the other king babies?
Yes, you're the biggest king baby in the whole world.
I'm the biggest king baby. Yeah. Then yuck. I wanna play with them, and I want to share my toys with them.
Okay, so you're saying you want to have a visit. You want to visit one of the islands.
My lord, a decree from across the water from the other isle.
You talk funny. I like it. Talk more.
King Baby David has declared he is so big.
Well, how big is he?
So big.
Well, that's not good. That's not gonna work. I guess I'm so big.
No, I'm sorry, sire. He has declared that he is the one who is so big.
War! I declare war on this king. Was it King Davy, you said?
Davy. He goes by, his proper name is David, but he is, as you understand, a baby. So he goes by Davy or Little Boy.
I'm gonna
Kitty.
call him King Poo Poo.
I understand, sire. I will return
I declare war on King Poo Poo.
with a message to King Poo Poo that you are the one who is so big.
That's right. I am the so big baby king, and King Poo Poo is Kaka.
Understood, sire. I will see you in 6 months.
Oh, we don't. Okay, King Baby. Do you think maybe
He talks funny. I like him.
he does talk funny? He did talk funny. That's a big boy thing for you to point out.
I am a big king. I am a so big king.
Yeah.
This is established.
Established. Wow. That is a big word for a king baby.
Thank you.
Who taught you that word?
Sesame Street.
Sesame Street. Wow.
Sesame Street. Yep.
Sounds like someone's had a full day.
I get my own special Sesame Street. They perform live for me because I'm King Baby.
My liege.
My liege.
My liege.
My liege. We've
Please.
arrived with news
You
from
have
the
two
front.
leashes here.
Yes,
Yes.
we've come together.
We come because oftentimes when there's perhaps
They
bad
finish
news,
each other's sentences.
people are worried that they might, kill
More of
the messenger.
Yes.
Yes. So,
Okay.
so we have been told that it is time.
Do you have to go poo poo because you look really uncomfortable?
No, it is time, my liege, for you to have your nap. Please show me mercy, sir.
Please.
Yuck. 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 Yuck.
Okay.
Yuck.
Okay.
Yuck. Yuck.
King,
Yuck.
King
Yuck.
baby.
Yuck. Yuck.
King baby. Hey,
Yuck.
hot.
Yuck.
King baby.
No nap. No
We've
nap.
had-
Yuck.
we've had a
yuck,
full day.
Yuck nap.
We've had a full day. Okay. We decided to help the other people at the end of the island. We're gonna go fight King David, who's so big in 6 months. Okay. Maybe the two leashes have a point. Maybe it's time for the nap.
No nap. No nap.
My liege, if I may, perhaps the reason why you are feeling so yucky is because you just need to rest your body, my liege.
Well, maybe
To be a bigger king baby.
you should rest your body without your head. Ha 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 ha.
My liege, keys.
You heard His Highness.
Jingle jangle keys. Jingle
Executioner,
jangle
time
keys.
to execute the page. Looks like he didn't give the execution order. I will maintain my bloodless axe.
Thank you, Jarvis. Thank you.
What will we be talking about?
Nothing, King Baby. You've had a full day. Don't you want to
Yeah.
go back into your big race car King Baby bed?
I like race cars. I'm gonna go vroom.
Okay, go vroom. Go vroom.
I love you.
We all love you, don't we? Everybody, same time. We love you,
love you, King Baby.
I guess.
Legit.
Hey, Josh Spence.
Yeah, man.
How about you? What was that moment for you that like just had a big that like it felt to you like you might actually be an adult?
Oh my goodness. It's not a fun memory like these other guys. So I was currently living with my dad. We were roommates together, and the more I think about it, like I've said this a couple times, I grew up a lot more rednecky than I thought I did. So my dad was drunk one night, and I was like, "Hey, you should probably hold off on the booze."
Uh-oh.
And he's like, "Are you saying that I'm not? You saying you can drink more than me?" And I was like, "No, quite the opposite." This was a legit conversation.
I love
said,
that's
think-
where he went. He's like, is that
Yeah.
a
That's
a great
challenge?
logic.
Is that a
And-
challenge?
Yeah, and
That is
and
his
I was
answer
like,
to every challenge.
Yeah, it seems like you already know my father. This is
Dad,
great.
I'm saying you should turn off the Nintendo. You're not going to beat Bowser tonight. Are you saying you can drink more than
You
me?
were there.
Yeah.
Sir, do you know how fast you were going? You saying you can drink more than me?
Tonight's
That's-
Final Jeopardy question. Are you saying you can drink more than me?
That was right.
Yeah, and I said no, quite the opposite. And we got into not only a fight, but we got into like a physical fight. And the next day,
Wait, how old are you? For clarification, sorry.
at this moment, 35. Then I was 20. So it was the next day we're again arguing, and it was like, hey, my name is on the lease, your name isn't on the lease, you should leave. And
That is an adult moment.
Yeah.
yeah, and it was super cool because when I said that, it was like when you watch the sitcoms and you hear the audience go, yeah, like that happened, and then it went, oh shit, I need to come up with an extra $1,000 for rent.
Yeah. That's the other half of adulthood setting in.
And it was in that moment. Actually, it wasn't that moment. It was the following week when I just bought. I went to Costco and bought a king size thing of crunchy peanut butter and top ramen, and all of the rest of my money went for rent. It was in that moment when I had a peanut butter sandwich for dinner, and that was it, that I realized I was an adult.
Yep. Yep.
That is having a peanut butter sandwich for dinner is probably 6-year-old me's vision of being an adult. So you're right on there.
Yeah, as an adult now who comes home at the end of the day and has no energy to do anything else in the universe, a simple peanut butter sandwich is often the thing I actually eat as an adult, or the equivalent of it.
That's the
Ramen
newest thing at
noodles, whatever.
HelloFresh is you open up the HelloFresh package and it's just like a 2 pieces of bread and then like one knife that has a whole bunch of peanut butter on it, and then the other knife has jelly. You just
Do you all remember?
We're sponsored by the very basic version of Blue Apron.
Do you all remember
Redneck Fresh.
when you were younger? And you maybe like this is from a TV show or something, and the dad of the family would get up in the middle of the night for a midnight snack, and he'd always make like this giant stack sandwich. It'd be like lettuce, tomato,
and it had
like,
the olive on top.
Yes,
with the toothpick.
And when was it? Did you realize that is the most unrealistic portrayal of getting up in the middle of the night for food?
When I saw that first episode of that sitcom.
When you were a kid, you thought when I saw that as
I also have never gotten up in the middle of the night for food.
Mm-hmm.
Same, yeah.
Thanksgiving,
Water, absolutely.
Thanksgiving. No one did that on Thanksgiving. Nobody groused and made a.
No.
One of my my buddies.
Maybe this is why I have a weight problem.
When he had his first kid, like he and his wife were sleeping in bed. And suddenly the kid is screaming, and he goes bursting in there like, "What's going on? Are you okay? What's in?" And his wife's like, "He's just hungry." He's like, "I have never been that hungry in my life, where I've been in a dead sleep and just woken up and going, pizza, pizza." And I'm like, "Oh my god!" That's when I realized, dude, I'm built to be an infant. I would just love to live that lifestyle, just out of control all the time.
Which is weird because when we were doing that King Baby scene, I saw Sean just muttering to himself like, "Fuck, that should have been me. That should have been me."
My baby still wakes up. He's almost 13 months old now, and still, it's rare to get a full night of sleep. He's generally waking up once or twice, and it's either because he's hungry. He's just so hungry. He is inconsolable unless he eats, where it is pizza, which is bottle. For pizza, it's in bottle form for babies.
I was going to say, the problem may be that you're feeding your baby pizza.
It is.
Getting the heartburn real early.
And or he has completely filled or overfilled his diaper. And it's a nighttime diaper that's supposed to last up to like 16 hours.
Oh, there's no such thing.
And this thing, within 3 hours, it is
leaking out the sides.
It's leaking out the entire bed. Like, we go through all of our sheets.
Painted the walls with it at this point.
Yeah. He's generally just kind of sticky from piss.
I gotta say, this is really, really yumming my yuck. Right now.
Yumming your yuck.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that I'm disgusted by it.
Super into this.
Oh, yucking your yum.
Yeah.
You know, I can actually relate to Chris's 13-month-old because I can't sleep through the night either. But it's not because it's my, I'm sleeping, having a good time. It's not because I'm hungry, but then suddenly my brain will kick on and go, "Hey, remember in 4th grade? Back in St. Catharines and I'm like, dude, no. And then everything starts spiraling and it turns into this whole thing. And then I'm up at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Well, our natural rhythms, and we used to sleep in like shorter cycles. It was totally normal to wake up in the middle of the night and be up for like an hour.
Yeah.
And just do a few things and then go back to bed.
Yeah.
Like, it's I think it was partly on the fault of mattress companies that marketed the idea of a full night's sleep of like 8 hours is the proper time to sleep straight. And that slowly changed the idea of what you're supposed to do to sleep.
Big
and that
mattress,
waking up at all isn't supposed to happen.
There's also the fact that those of us with ADHD experience more of this because we have two extra problems. One, the circadian rhythm is off for people with ADHD. We're slipped something like 2 to 3 hours off of the normal schedule. So we tend to be more productive at ridiculously late hours than other people. So that's why a lot of the time, like some of the best creative accomplishments I've had have been at like 1 or 2 in the morning.
Shout out iOS.
Yeah. But, the middle of the day is nothing. And then the other problem we have is, we wake up a lot more in the middle of the night because our brains are just constantly doing shit.
I was going to type this in the chat, but I'm just going to say it out loud. Jet is now officially the doctor who diagnosed me with ADHD. Like every time he talks about it, he's like, oh, so he means people with ADHD and me. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, Michael Heiman, I think you've got another one of your fantastic sponsors for us.
You think so?
I think so. I'm a big fan of all of the products you've hawked.
Oh, well, just wait for this one.
I mean, it can't be worse than supple dumps. I mean, come on.
That one seemed to go over really well. People will not stop talking about it.
Yeah.
The owies.
I mean, I use supple dumps myself. I'm a proud customer
and an investor now.
I mean, we're all investors.
Yeah, that's true. At this point,
yeah. That's how you advertise on the show. Is we give you money.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. The check that's clearing is ours. We didn't make that clear before.
This is like Shark Tank if it took place on the bus.
So it's called Fishbowl.
Here's the tape. Hey there. You know that feeling when you're in your house and you're thinking, man, there's gotta be some hidden treasure around here. And you go looking through your shelves and maybe in the boxes in your attic, and you can't find that in your possession. Then you think, wait a minute, it's in the walls. The house is hiding the treasure. The treasure that's gonna make me rich. That silky, smooth, hidden treasure is just waiting for me to start my own organized religion. Well, that's why we've got Corner Bones. Corner Bones, the pile of dead rich people's bones that we've hidden in the walls of your homes throughout the ages. You've heard of Charles Manson, right? He got his start finding corner bones. All you gotta do is find the nearest sharp implement, a claw hammer, maybe a big crescent wrench, and just wail away in the nearest wall in your home. Eventually you'll find us, Corner Bones. Maybe you'll find some nice calcified fragments of femurs, or if you're lucky, maybe a tibia. If you're really lucky, a nice vertebrae. You know the backbones. We're the backbones of your futuristic riches and your terrible ideas. Corner bones, always there when you need them. In the walls of your house, driving you crazy with greed.
Say what you will, still better than Arby's.
I talked to Michael about this one earlier, and he said that was the out of 7,300 takes, that was the best of them. That was the cleanest of them. So I'd like to say kudos to you for taking.
Vertebra is intensely difficult to say.
Yeah. You can tell it's hard to say by the way you nailed it on the first try.
Yeah.
And to be fair, he was pulling human vertebrae out of the wall while he was saying it.
Yeah.
It's
I'm really sorry we can't share the video with the viewers because like there was a whole like fully produced commercial there.
You do not want to see that video.
Yeah.
No, it was
If you see that video, then you're gonna die in 2 weeks, and you have to give the video to someone else.
Yeah, honestly, search for Boys Toys instead, and leave the filter off. You'll honestly have a much better result.
And Search for Boys Toys, by the way, is a great documentary on Netflix.
Hey, Sean Michael Boozer, let's get you with this one. What was that moment for you that kind of made you feel like you might actually be an adult?
You know what? It doesn't
have to be a specific moment. It could be a concept too, but like whatever.
Well, I know the concept would be. Having a mortgage would be like my dude. Ooh. When you look at this thing and you realize, like, over the course of this loan, you're going to give these bastards, you're going to give the lender 3 times the amount.
You're going to give the fine people at Fannie Mae.
Yes. Right. You're going to give them 3 times the amount of the home that you just purchased. But I like most of you, I feel like it's all a facade because, like, even now when somebody asks me how old I am, I have to I kind of guess based on the last birthday I remember, but I have no idea. And then when I do realize how old I am, I'm like, that can't be right.
Right.
That there's no way, because I would definitely be smarter if I were this old. I would definitely be a lot more mature if I were actually that old. I would know a lot more. I would definitely come in. But dude, people grant you based on the amount of years you have, as if you're like a tree. The taller you get, the older you get, like as if you're granted some sort of wisdom, but you aren't. You are the same knucklehead you've always been.
Where's that tipping point? Where's that tipping point? Because there's some people who, when you say, oh, they are this age, you think, oh, they must have a lot of wisdom. And there are some people, when you say how old they are, you think, oh, that person's probably racist as fuck, right? Like, it's that thing where it's like, where's that like perfect age where it's like, oh, that comes off as gravitas, as opposed to, oh, we don't let them drive anymore.
This is how I tell the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears to my daughter. This chair was too racist. This chair was too dumb, and this one was just right.
That's how it is right now, though. It's all generational. So, like in our current public discourse, or just socially, anyone over currently about 60, 65 it has a much higher probability of being racist and shitty. Not because they in their hearts are, but generationally, that was just what they grew up in. Yeah. Now, plenty of them have been educated and have refused to accept that education, so they are now assholes.
Cast to 20 hours,
but by the time all of us are approaching 60 or in our 60s, it could be very different. That stigma doesn't exist anymore, because it should age itself out. What sucks is the majority of the social issues in our world, a lot of times the solution is some people got to die.
Chris, you got that solution for a lot of things.
Speaking of which, no, I'm glad you said that, because like
seems to be a theme with you.
When Steven said tipping point, he continued talking, but the part that I thought he was going to go with was like the part you realize at some point you're going to die. I really thought I was going to live forever.
In case you haven't finished watching 6 Feet Under in the last 16 years since it ended, I'd suggest you skip ahead 20 seconds starting now.
Until I saw like the final 6 minutes of 6 Feet Under, where everybody dies to that really sad Sia song. And I was like, that shit's going to be me too.
Spoiler, everybody dies? Oh,
yeah.
Man.
Yeah, who saw that coming? I didn't. I said I grew up more rednecky than most of you.
A friend of mine is like a epidemiologist. And first of all, by the way, the idea that people will age out of racism.
Do they deal with vertebrae?
How about verbera?
No, the idea that people age out of racism means you and I have very different Facebook feeds of friends from high school. But no, a friend of mine is an epidemiologist. She's done a lot of work on like smoking and like getting kids to stop smoking. And so I remember she's talking about it. She's talking about all this stuff about like the ads and stuff, and just making it like disgusting for people to smoke cigarettes. As a 20-year smoker, absolutely true. But I'm like, well, what about like getting people to quit? She's like, why would we do that? That problem takes care of itself. And like, yeah, that's about how it works. Like, you guys want to keep puffing paint? This will be a short problem.
Well, and the other thing too is we don't know what the future is going to be, because we assume that we're going to be like the woke old people, but we're going to be like, listen, I know you want to call them robosexuals, but in my day we called them bolt bumpers, and that's what the name was, and that's what I'm sticking with. All right?
Oh man, this is gonna be so offensive in a few years.
There's only a big old bear at the end of that salmon stream, y'all. It's gonna get all of us.
I mean,
wow,
I hear
that's
that.
A great metaphor.
I'm Gen X, and I hear that from people like my age.
Gnarly.
Like talking about, millennials are lazy, blah, 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 blah. Like back when what we did. And like, That's pretty ballsy for somebody from the slacker generation.
Right.
We used to listen to Motley Crue.
You know what, though? As a Gen X person, though, as well, I have
Don't
come
say
to
that
the
about
realization,
yourself.
like,
That's not
we
true.
know that we are in that awkward age. And we accept it, like that awkward age being between birth and death. And we leaned into that, and we like know everything is wrong, and we're going to be wrong someday, even though we're right now, but we'll be wrong then, because in the context of things, everything moves ahead, and then you become left behind. And where was I going?
Well, like with it, like the people.
Nice rambling, Grandpa.
Once we get like our generation in the White House, like I don't want a president who passed out high in a Build-A-Bear workshop. Like that doesn't make anything better.
But eventually you're gonna have to, because all the boomers are gonna be
left.
dead.
Yeah.
Eventually.
But like skip us, keep going.
But we're going to reach the generation that we can't find anybody who didn't say something dumb on Twitter at one time.
Yeah,
we're
gonna have video of them doing something stupid, like and this is the president jumping from house to house and missing.
That's the only reason we could get away with that with the previous people was they weren't all on video 24/7 and on social media 24/7.
John Ossoff is a small example of this. Like you can see his tweets from high school about what band was it? He was all about Imagine Dragons, like going on about Imagine Dragons. But like, and that's like, in like the my childhood was embarrassing, I liked dumb things way that they're looking at it. Well, but there will be that person who has an awful thing recorded.
I am going to say, and maybe this is a crazy idea, I think it's possible that someone might get elected president after saying a bunch of horrible shit on Twitter.
No, that can't happen. That's not reality.
Super.
Welcome to the 2014 presidential debates. I'm your host, Anderson Cooper. Yes, I'm still here. I'd like to welcome our guests. They're both candidates, and yes, I now treat presidential debates just like I used to treat New Year's Rockin' Eve. I'm blitzed.
Anderson, get on with it. We want to talk to the people here.
I welcome our Democratic presidential candidate. You can tell him your name. I know you.
My name is Zebediah House.
And everyone knows Zebediah is a proponent of turn that racket off.
I make them turn it off. You just let me walk up there.
Okay. Now
Listen,
I'd like
my
to
opponent
welcome...
wants you to turn down your music. Now, how far has Gen X fallen? Remember when they were our cool aunts and uncles? Now he's the old man on the porch.
Where's that sound coming from?
On.
Where's that sound coming from?
I don't know others. I don't know either, Zebediah. I'm having trouble. I wanted to introduce our Republican candidate. I think that's where the noise was coming from. But if I could, our Republican candidate for president, he's a younger fellow. I feel like I'm not using his pronoun correctly. Is it Shoop?
Speak up, boy. We're hard of hearing.
Yes, you are correct.
Oh, I did read that correctly.
Yes,
I'm
you
often
did.
corrected by my grandchildren. I have many now. The pronouns continue to change, rightly so.
Because
Everyone
we are a learned and
identifies
advanced
differently.
society now, Anderson. That's why.
Could you explain to us what Shoop comes from?
No, I won't. And the fact that you want me to is frankly offensive.
It wasn't for me. It was for the benefit of the viewers.
The
who were
viewers
trying
are
to change
tuning in
minds
because
here.
they are
I'm
my
Anderson
supporters
Cooper.
and constituents. They are
I'm woke.
Americans
I've been
who wanna
woke from the
support me
beginning.
in the role as president of the United States. They all know what shoop means to me and to them. There are millions of other shoops out there who are ready to line up at the polls this November and put me into office as president of the United States.
My name is Zebediah.
Anderson, can we get to the January 6th party who everybody came to hear?
Okay, I will. Just before we do,
we
just
are
as
the real
everyone
Americans.
knows,
we are the
Shoop,
patriots.
Shoop refers to great fans of the 80s and early 90s hip-hop group Salt and Pepper. Anyways, to the January 6th party, we all know that approximately 19 years ago, a failed coup. Am I allowed to say that still?
No, we did not fail. We have built up to this moment. We are not a failure. We are a success. We have always succeeded because we are Americans. We are the true Americans. We are God's chosen and smiled upon. We are the light on the shining hill. We are everything the rest of the world wants to be. We are beauty and whiteness personified.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Baron Trump. I was just wondering if we from the Common Sense Party could go ahead and say something.
These guys again. Why do they follow me everywhere?
The Common Sense Party is recognized for 30 seconds.
We're not exactly hoping for you to say much.
I was just, hoping that maybe this year we could all just talk about what's important instead of arguing about our own personal ideologies, and talk about how we could help people in the United States through policy.
This is why I bring a cattle prod to these things.
It hurts!
I would just remind all candidates that cattle prods are not a good idea.
That boy's pacemaker went off.
I feel better.
No, Zebediah, it was a cattle prod.
Oh, I ain't seen one of those since I saw Mark Arm from Mudhoney vomit all over everybody at Woodstock 95.
I'd like to point out
I remember
that the
too.
prodigious cattle prodding by Mr. Trump of the member of the Common Sense Party is the most work Mr. Trump has done his entire life, as he has never held a job in all of his 30-plus years on this earth.
Oh, Mr. Trump, would you like to respond to that? Because that's a pretty outrageous accusation.
First of all,
outrageous meaning it's not that it's inaccurate. It seems accurate. I have records right here. I'm just saying outrageously, it's pretty strong.
I have records too, I got bleach on vinyl. That's what before they got signed. None of that shitty Butch Vig production on it.
It seems Zebediah has taken your time to respond, Mr. Trump, so we're going to need to go to a question from our audience. Yes, sir. You're speaking with Anderson Cooper. Did you know I used to be on CNN?
Wow. That's a very yum situation. I like that. If I may, my name is Jason Everman. I come from the proud state of California. I just have a question for Mr. Shoop from the Shoop Party.
No. His last name is not Shoop.
No,
that's his pronoun. How dare you?
Oh, now you monster!
You obviously are not you're an undecided voter, so I am eager to hear.
I would like to.
Okay,
I would like to apologize on his behalf to the Republican Party. I would like to apologize.
We accept. We accept all of your apologies.
The January 6th party does not accept. I know you weren't apologizing to us, but just so you know, we will not accept any apologies.
No one ever invited you, so.
Mr. Everman, your question, please.
My question real quick. And I heard it's pretty controversial, and I know everybody, grows up and they learn better, but is it true that at one point you were a huge Bare Naked Ladies fan? Would you like to recant that and because no one will, let's face it, everybody hates the Bare Naked Ladies, and you won't win the election that way. Is this?
I will respond to your question, and thank you,
Mr.
for bringing this up. A lot of people want to bring up.
Just to clarify, the Republican Party, your time to respond to this question is 1 week.
Great. I will take not but moments to respond. You will not have to wait that full week. As a proud American who wants to create relationships with our partners, listening to the Bare Naked Ladies and consuming their music and buying their records only was to forge a stronger relationship with our Canadian allies in the North. Yes, I think I'm a Republican, so obviously I cannot appreciate the nuance or intelligence of the Bare Naked Ladies' music, but I can purchase it in the cold, hard grasp of capitalism so as to forge that alliance.
Sorry,
Is that
quick follow-up.
sufficient?
Oh, no, quick follow-up. I'm sorry. When you say that you're consuming their music, is that very much consuming like the Chinese chicken?
I refuse to eat any Chinese chicken. I have long been an opponent of China chickens and their disgraceful agriculture and consumer practices.
I need
in
to cut
bringing
this
the
off
Chinese chicken
before
to
we get
America.
offensive. I need to bring in the Democratic Party to respond to this. Zebediah, do you have something to say about that? Because we know how much you love China.
Whatever he says will be too little too late on the subject.
I think I speak for the entire Democratic Party of the United States. I think I speak for every one of my generation, the fourth greatest generation. Say that you are one horrendous poser. I mean, look at you up there with that little tiny mustache on your face. What's wrong with you, boy? God, you know what? When I was your age, you know what I was doing? I was getting laid off from Pets.com. It was a business that said it was a great idea to ship 50-pound bags of pet food across the country, and our CEO was a sock puppet.
Legit.
I was going to mention real quick that the January 6th party had left the stage because they had to make their flight to Cancun.
Oh, we did. We did have to make our flight to Cancun.
Except they'd be on a no-fly list.
I want to know what Shoop would do if Shoop had $1 million.
And also, I wanted you guys to know, he didn't go by Mr. Trump. He went by Big Daddy Barron.
It's King Barron. It was really confusing title.
Yeah. Hey, Chris Compton, you're the last on my list here. Lucky you.
Last on the list, but first in our hearts.
I hope it's profound because it'll be our send-off here.
Yeah, this will be memorable for everyone. What was that moment for you?
So mine kind of works backwards. I mean, like generally with
like
adulthood,
Benjamin Button.
Ooh, like a Nolan movie.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, generally with adulthood, my level of adulthood is 2 kids in a trench coat trying to sneak into a rated R movie. Like, that's kind of how I feel. But when I was like, again, who knows how old I am. But when I was like in my late 30s, I started to lose my hearing because I went to see my friend's terrible band. And I eventually had to get hearing aids.
I don't remember that group. My friend's terrible band.
I think we've all seen that group.
You wouldn't have heard of them.
Popular groups in America.
Dave Grohl later joined that band.
Our friend's terrible improv group opened for them.
Yes.
Yeah. We've all seen them.
Great.
In Seattle.
But like I had to come to terms with the fact that I had to get hearing aids, and that's that's not a middle-aged thing. That's a like straight up ancient thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
And like I didn't want to do it forever because like I didn't want to feel like I was, my bones were half dust. But finally, like I can't hear anything. I have to go in, and I go, and I'm sitting in the waiting room of an audiologist waiting to go get hearing aids. And I look around at the people around me, and I realize that I am the youngest, most virile person in the universe.
Yeah.
And every time I feel old, I go back into that waiting room, and I realize I have boring decades left to live. I have so much time left to fail to accomplish things.
Dude, I had a very similar experience to that. I used to date this girl that lived in Malibu. And,
More than 8 years ago?
Yes. And we went to a wine bar there. And I looked around the wine bar and I'm like, dude, I could kick everybody's ass in here. And you know how long it's been since I've been in a bar and go, I could take everybody in here? And I'm like, this might be the highlight of the rest of my life. This might be it for me.
Okay, but as we know, that was like a decade or so ago. Could you now still kick the ass of everybody in that bar then?
It depends on how close I was able to park my car, because if I had to exert myself to get in there, obviously not.
I also realized that moment in real time too. I was at a concert with my dad, and we're at the Hollywood Bowl, and we had box seats, and this guy's trying to get into our box seats. He's like, just let me stand here. My dad's like, fuck no, get out of here. It's box seats, whatever. And they're arguing, and I stop watching the show, and I turn around and I say to my dad, hey, is there a problem here? And the guy that was trying to get into our seats, he goes, no, sir, I'm sorry. There's no problem. And he just slinks away. My dad was like, yeah, man, look at this adult over here. I was feeling myself. My chest got a little better. And then right after that, I was like, hey, do you want to walk with me to the bathroom? And my dad was like, oh, dude.
And on Josh's personal shame, I think that wraps up our show, don't you guys?
Yes.
That's like the secret word on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
Yeah.
Shame!
I would like to thank my amazing Super Legit crew for joining me once again this week and opening up your personal lives to our listeners. I'd like to thank Matt Walker for our fantastic intro and outro music. As always, you can find his website in our show notes.
He actually has new music coming out, so keep an eye out.
Oh, nice. Check us out on every podcast platform. Leave a 5-star review, please. That's like, if you like what we're doing, there is nothing better you can do for us than leaving that review, because it helps make sure that other people listen to us, or tell everyone to listen to us. That does wonders for us as well.
We miss you, Allie.
I'll put something up on MySpace.
I mean, to be brave enough to leave a good review, you gotta have some Verbera.
Is Verberer the website where you can like rent other people's houses?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Jet, can I record now?
Yes, you can record starting right now.
I don't believe anything's on. Oh my time, I kicked the door on its hinges just so I could move on. Oh, 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 oh.
We should start out this adult show by telling them that 4 of the 7 people on this are, parents. So we're totally adult.
Yep.
More than half of the show.
Yeah, that wasn't the moment for any of us, apparently.
Once again, we're on the same page, Sean Michael, because I almost said that in the course of the show. I was almost like, well, 4 of us have children that we acknowledge.
Right.
Jet, not even when your oldest child became an adult herself by age?
Yeah, that was probably a moment. Like that's been super weird. Because,
honestly, having a kid has not made me feel any more like an adult. I feel like it's made me feel even more like a child.
Yeah, because I get to run around doing things like, who's a bing bong dingle dong, like all the time. Like, plus all of us are like, when did you feel like an adult? 7 dudes playing pretend on the internet?